Alleluia, Christ is risen. He is risen indeed. Alleluia. As I speak, I've just heard the news that the lockdown has been lifted in Wuhan province, where the coronavirus outbreak began. One local commentator is recorded as saying something like, "It's not easy to come back from the dead." It is not easy to move from death to life. The witness of recent experience of those who have survived a severe form of COVID-19 is that it is akin to a difficult and painful rebirth. It requires not just a determination to survive, but also the considerable skill and extraordinary efforts of a whole team of medical professionals. It is not easy to move from death to life. In this context, it requires a self-giving and remarkable effort. It is all this which we applaud when we clap for the NHS and carers on Thursday nights. But I'm struck that there are other ways in which it is not easy to move from death to life. In the early part of this year, I lost both of my parents within 15 days of each other. Both had dementia. Both had been ill for some time. Both were elderly. Both had lived long and fulfilled lives, full of family and friendship and faith. Yet it has still been hard for me afterwards. It is not easy to move from death to life. I'm painfully aware that just before lockdown, we were blessed with the opportunity for a full funeral for my parents, and with a chance to celebrate their lives. I'm also painfully aware, having conducted services in empty crematoria or without mourners at the graveside, that it is much harder for those experiencing loss under lockdown, without the chance for a wider family to gather and support, without the chance for the kind of funeral which we would regard as a normal part of the process, without the chance for a wake, which allows one to begin the process of returning to normal life. For all these people who have my deepest sympathy, it is not easy to move from death to life. And yet, the witness of our Christian tradition of the story of Jesus, it is that it is not easy, but it is possible. The gospel story of Mary Magdalene seems to bear this out. Her experience is that the possibility of there being life after death comes as a huge surprise, to the extent that faced with the risen Christ, she supposes him to be the gardener. Slowly her eyes adjust and open to the truth of new life. And then she goes to share the startling truth with others. She shares Christ's risen life. She carries on in the way of Jesus. She lives out the love and peace and justice he preached by sharing it with others. Mary's story challenges me. It seems to say to me, if you want to see resurrection, then listen to the news I share, and above all, look at the way I live. It is not easy to move from death to life, but it is possible. And it is our calling and our story as Easter people. Our challenge as those who seek to follow in the way of Jesus, to live as those who in his name bring fullness of life in the face of death. Alleluia, Christ is risen. He is risen indeed. Alleluia.